when you get to the...
So the hot one out there, scorching. Hopefully everybody's in an air condition. If you're outside, try to stay hydrated. We don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose you. It's that kind of heat, but it's the summer. And a member of our family's under a little bit of heat, Peter. And that is the great Michael Kay. Innocently enough, I made a comment when we were talking yesterday. We need a rift with a player. And then I pop on Twitter, and I see Clint Frazier goes after our guy.
You know what?
Michael defends himself.
Totally forgot that you said that yesterday. You said, let's get a little heat with a player. And K's might be bigger.
Oh, well, no question. Clint Frazier, Yankees, that's a bit different than a punter for the Broncos.
Well, I don't know. Who's more famous, though, Marquette King or Clint Frazier? Nationally, it's a battle.
Well, nationally, it's a battle, but the fact that one's attached to the Yankees definitely gives it a little bit of flair. But Michael is going to do something that is unprecedented in this business and actually join the show 2 consecutive days while on vacation.
But by the way, it went poorly yesterday, let's be honest. Is he sure he wants to do this again?
Well, I think because we both were a part of the interview. And I'll be honest, it didn't register to me that what he said was as bad as what people, and what obviously listening to it back, Andrew and RJ raised an eyebrow when they heard it. And in case you don't know what we're talking about, Michael, when talking and defending the Yankees because of their injuries, said, shame on Jacoby Ellsbury and Clint Frazier for being hurt. And he meant it facetiously, as he said in a tweet, kind of apologizing. He's been interviewed by the Daily News, an article in the New York Post, because Clint Frazier went after him on social media saying he's doing everything that he can to get back and didn't appreciate Michael's comments. I don't think Michael was calling either of the 2 players out. I think he was just mentioning about, hey, this is the problems with the Yankees, that they've got these injuries, and that's kind of to blame for the situation that they're in. Things would be a lot better if Frazier can play the outfield than if Jacoby Ellsbury can play the outfield. But
it was dry to a point, though, that you wouldn't know it was sarcastic.
And that's why Michael wants to come on and clear the air, because no one has defended concussion situations more than Michael has. He understands the seriousness of concussions.
Hey, you know what? Don't bail him out till he comes on, Don. Let him dig his way out. This is the
soft open, and Michael is going to come on
the hard open
to explain and to defend his position. And whether he's reached out to Clint Frazier, I'm sure he did. Whether he got a chance to talk to him or not, I guess we'll find out.
I'm going the other way of Don. I think Michael meant it. I think he wanted to hurt him, and I think he's going to come on the air and double down. That's what I think. Well, listen,
we'll find out coming up at 3 o'clock. Yankees win a game, but I think more importantly than the win, because we kind of figured, you're talking about a team that's lost 71 games, is that...
And the White Sox, yeah.
That Lance Lynn pitched amazing. And when J. Happ comes back from the Coxsackie, I'm just wondering right now if the Yankees might actually have an audition, not just for their 4th starter, but maybe their 3rd. That if CC struggles, and obviously Sonny Gray is somebody that's persona non grata right now, is it possible that you can enter the playoffs with a rotation of Severino, Tanaka, Lynn, and Happ, or Happ and Lynn? So Cashman was really under fire yesterday for getting swept at the 4-game set, but maybe the acquisitions he made at the deadline, strengthening the starting pitching, might actually help this team come playoff time.
Do you mean pushing CC to 5 or pushing him out?
Well, just an alternative, right? I mean, listen, CC did not pitch well against the Boston Red Sox. He's 38 years old. What if he goes on the disabled list? I mean, he's got a big body. It's not that crazy to think that CC might have some struggles. It's nice to know that you have a guy that can pitch in his stead. Sonny Gray now becomes somebody you don't have to worry about if Lynn and Happ pitch well.
I totally agree with that part. I would be shocked if they made, unless there was some sort of serious injury, I'd be shocked at this point, given the totality of the year, if CC went anywhere, unless he really showed physical wear and tear.
But it's possible. Again, CC's
It's just
money.
nice to have the option, though. You're right.
CC's money. But CC, at his age, Michael even brought it up when I was away. One of the reasons I think he struggled in the game, in the last couple of games he's had, is the temperature.
Yeah.
Well, why? Because you're carrying a lot of weight, you're older.
By the way, you know who else sweats like a madman, Don?
Who's that?
Chapman.
Yeah.
Chapman 2 nights ago was pouring. I mean, it was very similar. It was CCS. Well, I got to tell you, in 2 minutes, when we do the top of the show, we have Michael Kay coming on for his moment here with Clint. This is big stuff.
It is big stuff. It was unexpected stuff, but that's sports radio. Also, we've carved out plenty of time to talk football.
I'm ready.
Oh, time, because you know what? This weekend, the preseason starts, and guess what? This show starts in 2.
That's football!
Hello, welcome to the Michael Kay Show. I hope you have a fun day today.
We'll see. We've got 4 hours. We'll assess it at the end. It's Don LaGreca and Peter Rosenberg on the Yes Network, and 98.7 ESPN and the Michael K. Show on 98.7 ESPN, brought to you by Geico. The real value in car insurance isn't how much you save. It's also the kind of service you get. Good thing Geico's been perfecting both for over 75 years. Michael's a special individual, and I'll tell you why. The last time he was off, had a vacation, he came in because there was so much news going on. He wanted to be in, so he physically forfeited the day off and came in. Yep. Yesterday, on vacation, comes on the show to start because of the Yankees getting swept over the weekend by the Red Sox. Well, now, unprecedented, a second consecutive day during Michael's vacation, he opens the show with us, but for a much different reason. Michael, welcome to your own show.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Michael, did you hear you made it to Ebro in the Morning this morning as a topic?
No, what happened?
We do a segment every week, every day, called Congratulations, You Played Yourself. I think I've told you that before.
Yeah.
And I put you on it, and I didn't put you on it for what you said. I put you on it for finding a way to create trouble on your day off. That was what earned you. That's dubious distinction.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up to that, slept well, and then I just saw this on Twitter, and I was kind of shocked because people that have listened to the show for a long period of time, or even not even long, just this year, knows that I have been, staunch in my defense of Clint Frazier, and anybody that has questioned the veracity of his injury, I've said, listen, you can't get inside somebody's head, especially when it's in a head injury. And for those that don't know what we're talking about and don't follow Twitter, I said yesterday, and really it's my fault, and I apologize for a bad choice of words, but I was just being facetious/sarcastic when I was talking about the Yankees starting Shane Robinson in the outfield. I said, shame on Jacoby Ellsbury and shame on Clint Frazier for not getting better, meaning obviously I meant that they're not here. It's a shame that they're not here. And I said shame on thinking that people would obviously understand the words, but, diarrhea of the mouth, I messed up. I certainly apologized to Clint Frazier on Twitter because he was the one who put it out there saying, you shouldn't question me, and I can't be angry at him because if you didn't know, the history of what I had said about him, you would think that that's what I meant, that I was questioning it. But, boy, right before you guys went on the air, we find out that Jacoby Ellsbury just had surgery on his left labrum of his hip. He's out for 6 months. So these injuries are nothing to be questioned. Obviously, when somebody misses baseball, they're missing baseball because they can't play. And I just want to say that I did apologize to Clint on Twitter, and then I actually called him, and we had a nice conversation. I think he understands where I'm coming from, but I understood why he was angry, so I'm certainly not above apologizing. And the first apology I gave, I did something, Peter, that I always hate.
What's that?
I said, I apologize if this offended you.
Yeah, you know what? I read that you said that, and I thought about you.
Right, and then I said, what did I just do? I just did what I hate people doing.
Right.
That's putting the onus on Clint Frazier. No. I apologize for saying something in a clumsy way that, made you think that it was my fault. It wasn't his fault. So I hope it's water under the bridge. But, people on Twitter are certainly having a good time with it, and let them do that. That's certainly their prerogative. That's what that's there for. Joe Buck said a great thing in an interview the other day in the Post. I think it was with Andrew Marchand. He said, if you're going to Twitter to get compliments, that would be like going to the complaint box in Macy's and finding, things that you did right.
Yeah.
He said that's what Twitter's for people who say you did something wrong. And obviously, the way it came out, it was wrong. Mm-hmm. So I feel awful because I would never question any kind of injury, particularly a brain one. I know Clint Frazier desperately wants to get back, and he told me that when we were talking, and I knew it then, and I know it now, and I just, in clumsy language, I used it, so I apologize to everybody involved. I apologize.
I'd like an apology as well, Michael.
I apologize that you're on the show.
Yeah, I agree. Oh.
Well, I think that's enough. I think that was very classy.
No, that's it.
Ground has been covered.
And then the only person you really had to worry about was Clint. You reached out to him and got it straightened out. So we wanted to be able to give you the forum in which to do that. One of the things about sports radio, or just radio in general, live anything, is when there's no delete button, right? There's no backspace. There's no way to go and go back and proofread what you did. It's
you're saying doing a live radio show is different than doing a recorded podcast in one's basement, where you can just put it out afterwards and listen to the whole
double
thing.
Check and make sure and clear it and all that.
Sure.
And we talk extemporaneously, and sometimes tone and sometimes what you want to get out there is misunderstood. So I'm glad you're able to take care of it.
First of all, I work with 2 guys. I work with 4 guys that would never be afraid to call me out. And if I ever said something that dumb and meant it in the way that it came out, you would have called me, but you knew exactly what I was saying.
Well, not only did I know, but again, I know the history of how you have defended concussion issues and Clint Frazier to begin with because of this. So I knew you weren't malicious about it. And to my knowledge, it wasn't a thing until Clint either watched it live or somebody let him know about it, or somebody from the organization.
Somebody let him know about it, and he said, I listened to it like 6 times before I wrote it, and I couldn't believe that you said it. I said, listen, I hear where you're coming from.
Tone-wise, it was tough.
Context, you obviously would think that way, so that's why I apologize.
Yeah, it would be tough. If you didn't know you very well and you just heard tone, you wouldn't think it was sarcastic.
Even if you just read it, I think most people just read.
Oh, yeah, terrible to read it.
Well, shame on Clint Frazier. If you read it, of course it sounds like that, so that's why listen, I don't apologize. People go, well, why don't you apologize for questioning concussion? I'm not apologizing for that because I wasn't. I think it's disgraceful that people would question somebody with a concussion. So I don't have to apologize for that. I have to apologize for saying something in a clunky way that could be interpreted the way it was, and that's my bad.
Well, when's Frazier apologizing to me? Because I don't like the tone that he went at my guy with afterwards. So now me and Frazier are no good.
Well, you know what? Maybe you'll pop on Clint one day when I get back in the studio.
I'd like that.
That would be nice to talk with him because I think he's an extraordinarily talented kid. And what I meant by saying that, and he knows it, this was his opportunity. I mean, with all the injuries the Yankees have had, if Clint could have stayed healthy, he could have shown everybody what an outstanding player he is, and that's why it's killing him, and that's why I would never even question it, because this kid wants to play more than anybody out there wants to play, and it just came out of my mouth.
How did you manage to overshadow the first good Yankees day in like 2 weeks, Caster?
You know what? I guess I just have that skill, Petey.
He did, because yesterday was really good.